So this video is very late and I apologise to all the patrons that have been patiently waiting for this one. I got back from the World Cup, immediately went straight to work running my coaching business, and also I found some footage of Rachel Atherton's crash, or one of my viewers did. I was trying to get permission for that while I was trying to get an interview with her, and it just delayed everything. But anyway, let's go back to France, back to Ligier, get the video started.
I've ever seen.
Could not resist making a Walker Texas Ranger meme out of that clip. It was just too perfect, had to show you. So it is Cathrevision, day 4, race day here in Ligier. Before I get on track and have a look at what's going on, I have to say a massive thanks to all the patrons that make this video possible. Through Patreon, they donate a small amount of money, which pretty much helps pay me a wage for making these videos, which is so cool, and I'm massively generous. That's them all here, scrolling on by. As part of that, they get little bonuses, they get their name in the video, they get stickers, and some of them can submit questions that I will go around and ask the pros, or anyone at the World Cups, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to cut about the pits, find some people, ask some questions, and then we're going to get on track. Cool. Come with me. These people are rad. Look at them. So good. We're off. Let's go. We've got Win Masters here, and the question is from Benjamin Ward. And before I ask it, actually, Win, you're a bit sore, aren't you? What's going on?
Yeah, maybe got a bit of a broken or torn rib ligaments, so yeah.
And well, was this like on quali or something? What did you do?
Nah, before the race started, yeah, so a real cock up.
Some laps with the boys?
Yeah, just laps by myself, but actually just the first lap got me, so yeah. And
so
then I did a few runs after, but in a lot of pain, and wasn't ideal.
So yeah, Win, struggling with broken rib, tried to do quali and what, just missed the mark?
Yeah, just missed, but crashed in the morning as well, so it didn't help myself at all this weekend. Yeah.
Top race prep, well done.
Yeah.
So, to the question from Benjamin Ward, he's asking, was Gemini the Wheelie King the original inspiration for Wheelie Wednesdays?
Yeah, Gemini's like, I'm a big fan of Gemini, and yeah. Me and Eddie have the Dead Sailor video at home, and we used to watch it nearly every day.
No way.
So yeah, I know Gemini the Wheelie King. Yeah.
I was wondering if you'd even know who that was, but you know, big fan.
Yeah, big fan, yeah. We probably watch Dead Sailor every day and then go riding, because we had dirt jumps in our backyard and there was a lot of dirt jump sections in there as well, so we just go digging afterwards and build more jumps. Eddie could do nothing when he was about 11.
Yeah.
So we used to love doing tricks, and we'd get stitches every single week.
So shout out to Gemini the Wheelie King. We'll throw some clips up.
Yeah, Gemini, you're the man.
When I got on the bike and did a wheelie, I said, I still got the touch. One thing that's similar in doing wheelies and a cowboy is that both of them can throw you. I could probably teach someone how to do a wheelie or fix their bike, but at the same time, I cannot teach them how to ride without a front wheel. I am in it for the speed.
David Staley wants to know, so it's race day, you've done practice, you've done qualifying and won, and we're on race day now. Are you running the same lines that you picked when you did track walk?
From the track walk, you know, the track changed a lot.
Yeah.
So, and track is still changing along the weekend. So yesterday we went for another track walk.
Yeah.
Then you can see some little lines, you know, that don't change so much.
Yeah.
So you certainly can see it.
Yeah.
But for us on the bike, that change maybe a lot, like skipping a hole or skipping a wood.
Only like a few inches.
Few centimeters, and that.
Sorry, metric centimeter.
You always change your line from the first track walk.
Okay, and when you're doing your track walk and you're looking at things, how do you decide what's a good line? Like, what in your head, what do you do?
It's never easy, because you think, oh, it's gonna be super nice, and when you test it, sometimes you just can't do it because I saw something on the track, I was like, oh yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. And when I was on my bike, I never go there. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, sometimes you think some good stuff, but it's bullshit, and sometimes it's inverse. You think, oh, it's not good, and when you're on a bike, it's just good. So it's really hard to to find a good line on the track wall. So the track wall is good to see the different lines.
Yeah.
And you have the practice to test the line. So yeah.
And do you have a secret line in the top split?
Yeah, that was a quick one. But do you think I can come
Edward, I have a question for you. It's from Rory Brown Carr. It's nice to see you living the life here. You know, you got the pool. You just
Miami, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. But anyway, Rory, he wants to know. Well, actually, first of all, he wants to congratulate you. And a hearty congratulations for your first EWS win last week.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all the help and the congratulations. Yeah.
There's been some very high-profile positive drugs tests and associated bans at the EWS, and he personally can't remember a World Cup rider getting banned for performance-enhancing drugs. A downhill World Cup rider. Is there a noticeable difference in drug testing protocols between the two series, or is the physical toll of enduro racing significant enough to push some riders to using banned substances?
First part of the question is, I guess, drug testing's only recently come into the enduro, EWS, so obviously they're still feeling it out, but I think the protocols are the same. At a downhill World Cup, I think they generally test the top three, the series leader, and a couple of randoms, and they've been relatively following that same protocol when it comes to EWS. I guess because not having drug testing in EWS for a few years maybe led some people down a dark road, but like I'm not saying that the positive tests that have come out, because like Martin Mays' one's got nothing to do with performance enhancing, that was completely unlucky. With downhill, it's just if you're the best rider on the day, you're going to win the race. But with enduro, but it being such a long game, endurance and stuff, there are maybe some marginal gains that can be made. Now that they've got drug testing and that, I think it will have pushed all that out. Like I fully support Richie and what he said. He was far too of a good a rider. He didn't need to be doing any of that stuff. So I stand behind him and what he said.
I think we covered all the points. I'll cut and chop that to make it flow. Waxer was out just scoping out the coral reefs in front of us.
Yeah, we're out here on the Great Barrier Port of Soleil.
And I guess all that's to be said is good luck today. We'll see you up there.
Thanks, guys.
Yo. Oh, here comes Marine. Sends it! Yes! So thank you very much for submitting those Patreon questions. If you want to do that, there'll be a link down in the description. You can become a member, submit questions for me. So I've come to the final drop on the track. For those that don't know, this is where Rachel Allerton ruined her ankle pretty much. She snapped the Achilles tendon. We don't know how badly. We don't know if it's a full rupture or a tear. Not a nice injury. But pretty much I've done all the lines on the track, so I thought I'd come and have a look at this drop and figure out why it's so hard, how you do it good, and then just get some shots of people casing it. Right, let's get a camera on the action, see what's going on. Oh, here comes Tracy, she's gonna do it. Woo! Nice. Trying to get a gauge on it. We reckon in terms of distance it's maybe about 20 out, 10 down at a guess, so it's not massive, but the issue is that landing is tiny. The sweet spot of the landing is only about a bike length long, and it's not steep enough for the angle you come in off of that drop. Landings are harsh when your approach angle is much steeper than the landing ramp, and this one is one of those cases, pun intended. The nicest spot to land is actually on the right hand side of the landing. It's fractionally steeper, but to get there you have to go slower round the turn off the step down. With bikes these days and strong fit riders, is it worth going a little bit slower to get the sweet spot, or do you just let it run and take that impact? Hope you build better cars than you do drops, Mercedes. So the setup for this drop begins as riders jump over the river and into this first left-hand corner. How riders take this left and the two compressions at the end of it dictate how they do the right-hander into the final drop. Some riders come into the left cautious, hold it tight, stay really inside, and that gives them a better setup into the right-hander. Does the slower setup doing that give them more speed off the drop and into the finish? Other riders go flat out round the left, carrying the speed, run wide, and then take the next right-hander much tighter. This could limit how fast they go round the corner into the step down, but there is enough grip there that you can make it work. There's also a few different options with how you take the compressions at the end of the left. Some riders are picking up into them. Some riders are pumping through them, and some are even trying to gap over it. Lots of different ways of doing it. Let's look a little closer at the turn into this drop. It's a big long off camber that just barely allows you to carry enough speed for the drop. You actually have to corner off the lip, which is super hard to commit to, especially in these loose conditions. For this turn, you need the precision of putting your wheels exactly in the center of the rut where there's support, and perfectly weighting the front and back tires so they grip evenly. Very hard to do, and if you get it wrong, those wheels are going to start to slide. Let's take a close look at some of the landings. We've got some cases. That's when you don't jump quite far enough. What's the opposite of casing? Well, that's sending it deep. Greg Williamson took the biscuit for the biggest jump and he threw in a tyre buzz for good measure. He's not even on a 29er, just likes a low seat. We've got some tyre buzzes. That's when your rear tyre hits your seat because you've got a 29er and short legs. Or there's the mystical bum buzz when your legs just can't handle the strain. Here's someone demonstrating good and bad form. Harry Malloy with a case on the first run and then smooth as butter on the second run. Talking of smooth landings, let's look at the best ones. What makes for a smooth landing? Lots of speed so you don't have to pull up lots, just the right amount of distance so you catch the sweet spot of the landing, and usually I'd say landing both wheels at the same time in a harsh drop like this, but it seems like front wheel first, back wheel first, both wheels same time all seem to work in different examples. Who do you think was the smoothest? Answers down in the comments. Yo! Now for some comparisons. Lutz Weber hits everything clean and centre, but Matt Walker has a little slip out. Let's see what that mistake costs him. Matt comes into the turn a little defensive and runs wide. He tries to correct and loses traction. Lutz pulls away, carrying more speed and floats off the drop. He continues to pull distance, finally finishing nearly a second in front. Now we have Foston Figueroa letting it run wide and Adam Rodzik keeping it tight. Foston gets into the compression way before Adam, but Adam gaps into the compression and takes a wider line into the next turn. He carries more speed round the right and overtakes Foston over the drop. Adam pulls away, but Foston makes a late charge, hanging out a leg up to the line, but Adam takes it by only 0.07. Now we've got a couple leg danglers. Finn Isles is tight up top and hangs a leg through the finish. Menard is wide up top with the stabiliser deployed, then clean down the bottom. Menard takes a slight lead, letting it run wide. He enters the next turn and deploys the stabiliser, losing a little traction. They go off the drop side by side, but Finn is carrying more speed. It's Finn's turn to hang a leg now, and he uses it to fully attack the left and takes this section by 0.14. Finally, the two fastest on this section are Thibaut Raffin and Troy Brosnan, and they are both on the clean tight line. Troy Brosnan takes an ever so slight lead on the first turn, then has a tiny slip entering the right. Thibaut catches up a little as they go off the drop with Troy slightly in the lead. Here's where it gets interesting. Thibaut ever so slightly soaks up the drop, taking a lower trajectory, while Troy pops slightly for more distance. They both land at almost the same time, but now Thibaut is in front. He holds that distance for a 0.05 win. Minuscule differences in technique, but it looks like clean lines for maximum speed off that drop, so you can keep it low. Wins on this section. Now to the reason that you're probably here. What happened to Rachel Atherton? Well, she was on her third practice run of the day. It was the first practice day, so she was building up the speed, learning all the features. The one feature she hadn't tried yet was that bottom drop, but that was soon to be rectified. She came into that drop, and in her own words, she was maybe going a little bit slow. She pulled up, cased the drop a bit, and then boom, Achilles snapped like an old elastic band. But how did that happen? It didn't even look that bad. So no one is quite sure exactly what happened to Rachel, but a viewer of mine, Dale Gowling, he said, "Oh, Castro, I found a video of the incident. There's a guy who posted up a raw video, Mitch Brooks, I think his name was. I've stolen the clip." Well, Rachel mentioned that in the morning her teammate Millie actually crashed on that very same drop. She crashed by compressing so hard that she went over the bars. So Rach reckons she actually leaned back a little bit more than normal to stop herself from going over the bars. That meant all her weight went through the legs, combined with casing the drop a little bit. She no doubt bottomed out the rear suspension. Now, I don't know how the leverage curve works on that bike, but if it's quite a linear one, maybe the bottom out was so harsh that the force spike was insane, and that's what caused her Achilles to snap. But people bottom out their bikes all the time, and they don't snap things in their body. So here's another thing that could have played a factor. Further up the track on that very same run was a long jump, and Rach jumped way further than any of the other women on that jump. She could have tweaked her ankle a little bit there and slightly damaged her Achilles, and then further down, that damaged Achilles gave way on that final drop. Or maybe she had an old injury that she didn't know about and caused that Achilles to be weaker, but I mean, who knows? I mean, we're all just guessing here. What we do know is that it sucks that another of the top female athletes is out of action. The good news though is that in 2 months she hopes to be weight bearing on that leg, and then hopefully within 3 months she can get back on a bike and gently start spinning the legs. Fingers crossed for full recovery and her coming back to the sport. It could go either way though, it's totally up to her. Fingers crossed we see her next year. So that's going to do it for Cathrevision here in Léger. I am off home. I've got a week of coaching coming up, so I'm actually flying tonight, so I gotta go. This video is probably going to come out late because of that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like button if you did, subscribe if you want to see more of the videos, and I will see you at the next round in Val di Sole, Italy, Valley of the Sun. See you there. Oh, massive thanks to all the patrons again. If you want to become one, there's a link in the description. See you next time. Alright, TJ, what are we doing?
Here we are, after practice in the media room, or Squid's Palace as I like to call it. We're surrounded by squids in their natural habitat after a long day on the hill.
I think you should go and interview them.
Let's go and chat to someone. Excuse me, we're going to go chat here. Here we have Keith Valentine, last year in the World Cup. Keith, it's been a long career on the World Cup. Have you enjoyed your time with us squids?
No.
Well, there we have it, everybody. It's a terrible job.